I'll just go through a couple bullet points here just to give them an appreciation of your journey. So you go undrafted. The first bullet point that you have on here, Baltimore Ravens rookie camp, May 2016. Baltimore Ravens mandatory minicamp, June 2016. Seattle Seahawks free agent.
I couldn't. Sorry, that first minicamp, I wasn't able to walk at my graduation in college because I had to go to minicamp. Which it's just one of those things that like I never got to experience that because like that's how like important football is. I know like some people don't care, and like honestly, I don't know if I totally care, but I know that like my mom definitely cared. But it was just that's just one of those crazy things that a lot of people don't think about either.
And they get overlooked. Yeah, and they don't know, right? Like I mean, right? Unless you explicitly tell someone, right? Like they're not going to know that you had to skip your New England Patriots free agent tryout, October 2016. Green Bay Packers free agent tryout, December 2016. Skipping around here, Jacksonville Jaguars free agent tryout, June 2017. Back to the Packers. Ravens preseason camp, August 2017. San Francisco 49ers free agent tryout. This is your first tryout with the Niners, October 2018. The list goes on and on. Like I said, we'll put a screenshot of it so you can see kind of the entire journey here. But we've talked a lot about, kind of the mental side of football and when you're actually in the game. And you spoke a little bit to the mental toll of not having a team and bouncing around. But I was hoping you could just expand on that a little bit more and really give us an appreciation for like, what does it actually feel like to go to all these free agent tryouts, all these preseason camps, and keep trying and it not clicking until finally in 2020 you sign with the Niners? And then follow-up question, or it could be a part of your answer, is like, what kept you motivated to keep going?
I mean, there's like so much that happened like in that time between. So like I said, like that fall of my first year out of college, like my first workout since like I was with the Ravens twice that first summer, my first workout was December 2016. And then from December 2016 to, I'm sorry, my wife, I got to make sure she's okay. Okay. Sorry. She had a procedure done. From that first workout with the Packers all the way to getting to the 49ers, like so much happened in those. I mean, there was like 4 years in between that, but like so much happened in those 4 years. So like, I'll try to make it quick, but there's like stories in between where like I can talk about the mental aspect, but like that tryout with,
by the way, don't make it quick. Feel free to go as long as you want.
That first tryout with the Packers was for a futures deal. And so they ended up signing me to a futures deal after they got knocked out of the playoffs that year.
Real quick, what's a futures deal?
So it's a weird thing. It's like only for like players who are like kind of young, but it's a way for like teams to sign you before the official start of the new year. So like you're just kind of claimed early, and it's really only a thing for younger players. So I signed a futures deal. Thought I was going to be the only long snapper in OTAs because they had an old vet, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks before OTA starts, they signed another guy for me to compete with. I'm at OTAs for 3 weeks. They ended up cutting me for this guy who was like a tight end in college and was converting to long snapper in the NFL. And he was like a little bit stronger than me, a little bit faster than me, but like snapping wise, like I was way ahead of him. But they cut me. And then I think I went on a few tryouts that summer, and then they ended up cutting their vet. Oh, they didn't bring back their vet. So I thought I was going to be the only one on the roster. They cut me for the new guy. And then at the end of camp, they cut the new guy and signed their old guy back. 3 games into the season, he like injured his hamstring, and then they signed me. I play 4 games, go to the bye week, start dating my now wife during that bye week, get back, practice on a Thursday for Monday Night Football that week, and break my foot. On November 2nd, 2017. And then I'm not cleared to be fully healthy until February 2018. And like in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm healthy now. I have 4 games under my belt. People are going to be calling me like crazy. I'll end up somewhere. Couple tryouts that summer, 5 tryouts that fall. And it got to the point where like every tryout I was going to was like, you're a really good snapper. We're not going to sign you, but like when you get your chance, like I think you're going to be snapping in the NFL for a long time. And that was like, I mean, you can look like, I don't know, that first one in 2018, who was that? Was that the Patriots probably? Or Jaguars?
Patriots were in 2017. 2018 was, no, you're right. Patriots, May 2018.
Okay.
Patriots minicamp.
And then my last workout was in December of 2018
with New York, the Giants.
So how many were in between that? How many did I have in 2018?
2018 in total, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in 2018.
So like during that time, I had all these coaches telling me, "Oh, you're going to snap for a long time. Oh, you're going to snap for a long time." And it got to the point where like I believed them at first, and then when everyone was kind of saying that canned line, I was like, is this just the BS that they tell everybody?" Like I was having trouble with it, and I finally like in between some of those, I had to like tell myself, I was like, well, I'll keep going, but only as long as like when I'm at these workouts, if they're not able to give me something I can work on and I stop learning in this process, like once I stop learning, I'll call it. Like I'll be done. Because if I'm not like growing in any way, if they can't give me anything to help me grow as a snapper, then then I just might not be good enough because I just keep getting the same damn answer over and over again. Well, ended up signing a futures deal with the Giants that year, competed with Zach Diassi, who was like a 13-year vet at that time. Great guy. We had a great time during OTAs and training camp. It wasn't like sometimes tryouts can be weird because guys are not like hostile, but just like not messing with each other at all. Zach was like a great mentor. And I was snapping the best I had ever snapped in my life at that point. Felt really confident. I thought I was going to beat him out. He and Eli Manning were the last two guys on that roster to win Super Bowls for the Giants. So like they were holding on to him. Didn't end up beating him out. Got cut on cut day, last day of camp. Drove home from New York to Michigan like 9 hours that same day that I got cut. And I got home. I think I got home and I was in bed that night, like writing out my grocery list. And like, I remember my wife's talked about it a few times. Like when he came back, like he immediately was like ready to get back to work and like start eating healthy again and like, going and working out and getting ready for the next opportunity. I had 4 additional preseason games under my belt. Really good film. Zach hurt his toe. He had like an infected toe for part of training camp. So I actually got more playing time than I would have because we were going to split the halves. So I got like 2 extra games of film. Got home that night. I got cut. The next day I'm out to lunch with my now wife and my parents, and I get a call from the Dolphins, and I fly out the next day, try out for them. And then I get signed and I play 16 games for them. That season is another story in itself. I absolutely hated my special teams coach. He was an asshole. He treated me like shit. I couldn't have snapped worse that season because like this guy he got in my head. And now that I know this, like he's known for doing that to specialists. Like it's just the way he is. I don't think he's like purposely trying to get in their head and like ruin them, but it's just the way he is like wired. Like he's ruined plenty of specialists, and like a lot of guys haven't come back from it. And another story I was just talking about with my wife, and then even I was talking about it with a few other people recently, was I was just snapping like crap. And that off season was 2020, and that's when COVID hit. And like a dumbass, I bought a house in South Florida because I thought I was going to be there for a long time. I replaced a 15-year vet and snapped all season. Surely I'm going to be there for a long time. Dumb. But we had a place with a pool during COVID, which wasn't bad. But with that being said, there were actually a lot of specialists who live in South Florida. So during COVID, we were actually able to get a lot of work together at these fields. So I was still snapping to like my guys that I had played with that season, and I just wasn't snapping like myself. And I remember that season I was really struggling because I was like telling my holder, I'm like, dude, like I'm telling you, like I'm a good snapper, but like this coach has me messed up in the head right now. Like go look at my film. Like there was one day I like pulled up my film to Matt, and I'm like, dude, watch this. Like I'm a good snapper. I can do this. I'm just like, I'm trying to work through this, and it's like so hard. I wanted to quit football that season. Like I was just miserable. and I didn't even realize it till way later, but like apparently I didn't really even share any of this with my wife. She didn't know how miserable I was. I just kind of came home and like did my thing, and like we were fine. She had no clue how miserable I was. So like, it's another lesson is like don't bottle it up, like use your support system. But so the draft is happening and I'm watching the draft at home. There's nothing else to do. And I all of a sudden I get a text. I get like 5 texts like, holy shit, like I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? And I like go in the room where the draft was playing, and like the Dolphins had just picked a long snapper in the 6th round. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I think later that day I got a call and they cut me. But I'll be damned if I didn't go back out to the field with those specialists the next time that we all went out. I was back to myself like I was with the Giants. Like it was crazy because like when we were snapping earlier in that spring, that coach wasn't around. But like after that, I went back to my old self and I was like, I was snapping to my same holder and I'm like, look, it was literally the monkey was off of my back. Like this coach was just such an asshole. And like when I got cut, it was horrible. Like I thought my career was going to be over, but like I started snapping like myself again, and that mental weight was just totally off of me, and I went back to normal and was snapping great. And those guys weren't able to go to OTAs for a while because of COVID, and I got so much extra work in that I otherwise wouldn't have with specialists. And it was nice because as the spring went on, more guys came down to South Florida, and I got work with a lot of like active punters and kickers, and like I was able to showcase what I could do to some of these guys. And I remember one of the guys had 2 rookie snappers on their roster that season, and he's like, you're way better than them. Like as soon as I get back, like I'm going to tell my coach like he needs to bring you in. I never ended up going there, but like that's what I was trying to use that almost as like a tryout and like get these guys to like go to their coaches and be like, this kid's good. So there's just so many mental aspects. And then after that, like I did get picked up by the Niners like week 4 of 2020, and just constant improvement year over year. I had Robbie Gould, who's a really good mentor to me, and really helped me like develop like as a pro, and not just like on the field stuff, but like all the behind the scenes stuff, taking care of my body, how to act in the building, when I should show up, like when I should leave, like all that stuff was just like such a big contribution to like my success that I've had. And I'm 31 now, and like I still got a lot of gas left in the tank, so I'm definitely not ready to hang them up. But it is frustrating. I was cut like 2 days into free agency, and I had another year left on my deal. So like a lot of these guys who go into the offseason knowing they're free agents, their agents are talking to guys like at teams constantly, even when they're not supposed to, like at the combine. That's one of the biggest like under the table like free agent discussion times. I wasn't able to have any of that. And then 2 days of free agency goes by, and then I get cut. By that, I got cut on a Wednesday. By Friday, all of the long snapping spots were filled up everywhere. I have no doubt in my mind I would have ended up somewhere. And now it's just one of those things like teams just don't typically shake it up like that. Like, oh, let's cut this young guy. And also the OTAs and even training camp is a time for these coaches. It's kind of inconsequential because there's a few of us on the streets right now that are really, really good snappers, that like these coaches, they want to get these young guys in, really evaluate them, try to develop them as much as possible. And then if they aren't working out towards the end of camp, you sign a vet, and it's kind of like a Band-Aid. Like, these guys are proven. This last season, I played my 100th game in the NFL. Like, I have plenty of film. They know who I am. They know who all the guys on the street are. And it's like, it's kind of inconsequential for the coaches, but it's just like, it's just been weird because I am in a totally different place now. I have money. I have a wife. I have 2 kids. My house is great. Like, I have this anime weeb office of my own. I didn't have that. I was in a condo with my girlfriend, now wife. Life circumstances are way different, but all the lessons that I learned as a free agent, it was just, for weeks I woke up at like 2 a.m. to go pee, and like I'm like, holy shit, like it hasn't been a dream. Like, I'm actually not a 49er anymore. So there's just like so many things over the years, and there's so many stories even inside of all that stuff. So I mean, it's been a grind, and I loved my time with the Niners. I wanted to finish my career there. I wanted to be there as long as my body could handle it. But we got a new special teams coach this offseason, and he had other ideas, I guess.